Joining me now is Department of Homeland Security Public Affairs Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. Tricia, good to see you. Thanks for being here. What is the administration doing about all of these new attacks on ICE agents?
Maria, our ICE enforcement officers are seeing a 700% increase in assaults against them. But it's even more than that. We're also seeing the doxing of their family members, their spouses where they work, their children where they go to school, so they're being targeted. If you lay a single hand on a law enforcement officer, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law under Secretary Newsom and President Trump's leadership. But it's more than that as well, Maria, because these politicians, whether it be Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, or AOC, continue to vilify our ICE enforcement officers as they just carry out the law and try to make American streets safer.
I mean, it's unbelievable. ICE agents were fighting off a masked mob outside of a San Francisco immigration court yesterday as Democrats are ramping up their fight to make sure that ICE agents conduct their duties unmasked. Senate Democrats even proposing a bill to do that. So, Tricia, you've got, on the one hand, these mobs trying to take down our ICE agents, but then you've got Democrats seeming to condone it.
It is despicable. And keep in mind, Maria, these Homeland Security investigators and our ICE enforcement officers, they're going after the worst of the worst. MS-13 gang members, Trende Aragua, highly sophisticated criminal gangs and criminal rings that can easily target our ICE enforcement officers. And the fact that the Democrats want to hand on a silver platter intelligence about our ICE enforcement officers and information tells you everything you need to know. But I do want to mention that marijuana facility raid. And that tells you everything about Gavin Newsom, the fact that he continues to vilify and demonize and attack our law enforcement officers when they actually went out and found that there were 10 children at that marijuana facility likely being exploited, potentially even being trafficked, because 8 of them were unaccompanied. We're trying to figure out how they got there. Were they smuggled? Were they human trafficked? And the fact that Gavin Newsom is trying to obstruct that is disgusting.
Yeah, Tiana, jump in here.
We know that the Open Borders Brigade, they really care about the children when you can get these photo ops. But under Biden's Open Borders policy, they lost, Tricia, was it 250,000 children? And I know that a large part of that, his own labor secretary was warning that these kids might indeed, as we saw with this marijuana raid, might be working as illegal child slave labor. Is there any update on finding those children? And in what cases have you been tracking these kids being forced to work underage and in violation of labor law?
Tiana, you're absolutely right. Under the Biden administration, it was about 300,000 unaccompanied children who were lost in the system. I think it's an untold story that needs to be shared widely. Under Secretary Newsom and HHS, we are working diligently to find these children. So far, about 5,000 unaccompanied children have been found and reunited with a safe guardian or relative, but we're working hard to make sure that number is pumped up and we get these children to safety. It's so wrong what's happened, and it is our top priority, whether it be in LA, Chicago, New York, or otherwise, to make sure we are stopping any sort of exploitation of children.
Yeah, but then there's this, the Salvadoran national Kilmar Abrego Garcia, set to return to court today with his lawyers, a judge planning to grill ICE over where it plans to release Abrego Garcia when he leaves federal custody. Then there's the anti-Israel activist Mahmoud Khalil bringing a $20 million suit against the Trump administration, claiming he was falsely imprisoned. He faced malicious prosecution, Tricia. What are the plans here?
I would like to remind viewers who Mahmoud Khalil is. He was the ringleader of these Colombia protests, riots really, where they defaced buildings, they took them over, they harassed Jewish students, they were posting pro-Hamas propaganda. It is a privilege, not a right, to live and study in this country. And Khalil took it to another level where he started spouting and pushing anti-American propaganda. He shouldn't be in this country. In fact, he should self-deport. He shouldn't be here in the first place.
Yeah, we are watching all of these efforts to stop President Trump's deportation program. But we all know, Tricia, that President Trump wants a diverse population and wants to have immigrants here, but he wants it done in a legal way, a legal structure, as opposed to all these illegals coming in under Joe Biden that were unvetted. Why is it that the Democrats are not getting behind something that's so commonsensical?
I think they're rudderless, Maria, because it really is nonsensical. I think that there's a degree of Trump derangement syndrome because the facts remain. We've arrested under this administration 2,700 members of Tren de Aragua, a vicious gang that maims, rapes, and kills Americans for sport. We've arrested almost 600 known or suspected terrorists. These are the worst individuals that the left really should be cheering us on to get out of this country, and yet they continue to defend the likes of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, that MS-13 gang member that you mentioned before, and these other really horrendous criminal illegal aliens.
Let me ask you, Tricia, about the big, beautiful bill, and there was increasing money for the border. How will that money be allocated in terms of the priorities right now, based on what just happened in the big, beautiful bill?
It's going to really turbocharge our arrests and deportations, Maria. We're going to be doubling our bed space, and bed space and detention space is really an operational key as far as getting those arrest numbers up and getting these criminal illegal aliens out of our country. And further, our ICE enforcement officers, we're going to almost double the amount of who are on the ground. More than 10,000 added and funded for. And as well, our Border Patrol agents and our ICE enforcement agents are going to get the bonuses that they need. They work so incredibly hard to keep American streets safe. As well, we're seeing a vast increase in demonization against them. As I mentioned before, a 700% increase in assaults, and they deserve to be paid a fair amount and get those bonuses as they carry out the American people's mandate.
All right, we will leave it there, and we'll be watching your work. Thanks very much, Tricia. Good to see you.